Welcome to Trust Your Inner Sense with Joanne Starkman podcast. I'm Joanne Starkman, and I look forward to going on this collaborative journey with you to ignite inspiration, inspire self-discovery, and instill new meaning in life. I'm excited to host a wonderful array of guests, including innovators, creatives, expert coaches, teachers, and much, much more who come together to share their stories. Each episode reveals how they've embraced their inner sense to pursue their passions and shine their unique lights in the world. We'll have thought-provoking discussions and chat about tools that will provide fresh perspectives to help you create a joyful and meaningful life. As founder and chief visionary officer of award-winning hair care brand Inner Sense Organic Beauty, I am also an avid meditator, platform artist, author, and mother of a special needs young adult. Over 20 years ago, I intentionally brought mindfulness to morning routines by authoring each affirmation on Inner Sense Organic Beauty's products, which we call Innerflections. You can check them out on the back of the bottle. It's my goal to have this podcast to be your warm and compassionate companion, whether you're on a journey for deeper meaning, seeking greater joy, or in need of love and healing. Let's continue our journey of self-discovery, self-care, and self-love. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive into this week's Trust Your Inner Sense episode now. Hello, dear friends. I'm so excited for you to be here today. This is a very special episode and a very special guest, and this is going to be tagging on to our Vagaro Iconic 2025 Napa event. And today I am joined by a very, very special guest, Charity Hudnall. She's Chief Marketing Officer of Vegaro and recipient of 2024 GTM CMO of the Year Award. If you've ever wondered how technology, creativity, and community intersect to support hairstylists, beauty pros, and wellness entrepreneurs, you're in for a real treat. Charity not only leads marketing for one of the most influential platforms in our industry, she's also the creative force behind events like Vagaro's Iconic 2025, which this year transported us into a Coachella-inspired world of color, energy, and connection. I'm so excited to have Charity, and I'm so honored. I got to tell you, friends, that when Charity even floated the idea of me doing a podcast live at the Vagaro event, I was like to the moon and back. I was super excited about it. I had never done anything like that before, and it was beyond my wildest imagination. So I want to just dig right in with Charity. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for our amazing partnership. And I'm so excited for people to get to know you. So thanks, Charity, for being here today.
Oh, thank you. And actually, I'm the one that's really honored to be on the podcast. And I just love our partnership and I love where it's going. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, let's get started. I want to start right with Iconic 2025. I mean, it was such an unforgettable experience for me and for Morgan and for my whole team. Like, you guys knocked it out of the park. It was such a vibe.
Well, thank
Can you tell us a little bit more about how it all came together? And
Yeah.
I want to know everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So every year we come up with a theme. And this year we really, really wanted that Coachella type theme. I mean, at the end of the day, I know people view us as technologists, but we're marketers and we love to be creative. And Coachella really represents that, right? It represents the freedom to be who you are and express yourself and the creativity. And we really wanted to tap into that this year. So Iconic wasn't really the only event that we unleashed our Coachella creative vibe. We actually
No, I know. Yeah, because we were in Europe together at
Yes.
HairCon, and you had an amazing Coachella vibe there. Yeah, please go on. I interrupted.
Absolutely. Yeah, and every event this year we brought Coachella with us.
Okay.
And we're actually sad because we're approaching the end of the year and we're thinking like, oh my God, we have to come up with another theme next year. Can we just, continue on with Coachella?
Yeah.
But no, it really represents this creativity and uniqueness and just really individuality that we love and we want to celebrate with all of our professionals that are on Vagaro and outside of Vagaro and just in the industry. We think it's super, super important. So when we come up with this theme, It's fun. It's like a bunch of our marketers. I have probably like 30, 40 marketers that sit outside of my office, and we all get together and we're brainstorming all of these themes. And it's like our chance to really, really put our creativity to the test. And then we actually, all of our designers had a challenge of creating a poster. So, at Coachella, there's like all these different vibes and posters. And so we had this contest, and the posters came together like so amazing. And that really sparked the theme in general. So, and then we just carried that on throughout the year. And so Iconic, even though we go to events all year, it's really our one moment to like unleash all of our creativity for the year and share it with the industry. And it's, we're like, hey, we're creative too. Like, and so it really drew a connection. I'm so happy how it turned out. And the venue in Napa, the Chardonnay Golf Club, was happy to have us come and try to transform this whole festival vibe, on
You guys knocked it out of the park. Are you
really
kidding me? It was
appreciate it.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
No,
you.
it was such a fun event, and the venue was perfect. Okay, so thinking about, like, the theme for the year or whatever, like, I love the idea that you guys and it's funny that you don't look at yourself as creative, or maybe you're suggesting that because it's technology, but I'm like, you guys are so creative. Like, you're
Yeah,
just creating even just, like, on your platform and all the feedback that you get from people and just I've been in plenty of meetings with you guys, and even you guys have a podcast that I wanna
yes,
mention, Fred,
yeah,
the founder.
Fred the founder,
What's
yep.
it called again? I'm
It's
sorry.
you know what I mean.
You know what I mean. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
you
go.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? And actually, we joke about that because that's a saying that Fred, I mean, since we've known him
Mhm.
forever, he always says, "You know what I mean?" And so we just carried that forward to his podcast, and it's really like this off the cuff, really authentic podcast. So, you know what I mean is actually really, really fitting him, his
Absolutely.
personality. Yeah, and if you know him, like in any conversation with him, he'll probably say it probably about 10 times. Yeah,
How
it's great.
perfect. Well, so what were some of the other themes? Can you share anything else like that you've either done in the past or some things that have been on the table? Like I can't even imagine. Like Coachella is such an amazing theme.
Yeah,
What
it's a powerful theme. We did the year before, last year, we went through different eras, so we called
okay.
them iconic eras,
Okay, got it.
and so even at the HairCon show last year, we partnered with the different stylists, and it was really fun. We had this runway show where we went through all the different eras of hairstyles, so
Oh,
brought out
amazing.
50s hairstyles and 60s hairstyles, and it was so fun, so nostalgic. My favorite is the 70s, obviously, because I'm a 70s baby, um, I think that was probably my second favorite. We've done some things like, looks and luxuries and kind of, identifying different brands that we can connect with, but I think those are probably my two favorites.
Okay, I'm so excited to hear what next year's
Next
theme is
year,
gonna be. I'm like on pins and needles right now. I love this.
yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about what Vagaro wants to achieve through Iconic? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's networking, education. I mean, yeah, I just would love to hear from your lens, like how you feel these types of events shape the industry moving forward, moving into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I joined Vagaro about 5 years ago. And in my interview, Fred told me, he said, I really want to have some sort of a user conference. I want to,
Mm,
like we have what we call user voice, and user voice
mhm.
is basically a platform where our users can go in and recommend a feature, and then you can upvote it and downvote it. But Fred wanted to hear it directly from the users. He wanted to be face to face with the users to hear, are we nailing it? Are we not nailing it? Are there things that we're
Mhm.
missing, and what's going on in the industry? So originally that was why we started the user conference. Not only that, but the
Mm.
software is so robust that we hear all the time, like that people say, I don't feel like I'm using all the functionality of the software. Like, what else is there? But from that first year to now, it has absolutely evolved. And I'm so excited of how it's evolved. And we take the software seriously, but the software is going to be the software. We're always going to do what's best for the user, but there's so much more to that in the industry, and
Mm.
we're trying to figure out, like, how do we get back to the industry? We started partnering with organizations like InnerSense and
Mhm.
like John Mosley's of the
Right.
world and of the industry. And we started learning, more about, the differences between like textured hair and,
Mhm.
different things. And we just realized there's so much more that's important to these business owners than just how to learn, what's going on in the software. So we started adding on components here and there and just really listening. For example, last year we ran a survey and our users said, "You know what? We really want an opportunity to buy product. We want to, and not only do we want to buy the product, we want to learn how to use the product. We want to try different things."
Wow.
Yeah, there's so much out there. How do I know what to use and how to use it? And I want it live and in person. So it created this intimate setting. And one of our worries was that we service beauty, wellness, and fitness. And we thought, okay, bringing these folks together, are they really going to care about each other's industry? But the really great thing is that the show, the presentation that you put on, and we had Tony and Guy there, they put on a presentation. We've had tattoo artists coming up to us, estheticians coming up to us that were absolutely inspired by your presentation. And they were just like, wow, I've never actually seen anything like that. I would love to share with the world, something about my craft and something about my creativity. And it really just builds community. Not to mention, we have a killer after party, which is like every year, wherever we are, it's like whatever happens in Napa stays in Napa, whatever happens in San Diego stays in San Diego. And we have an awards ceremony as well. And in that awards ceremony, we're able to honor 25 really amazing business owners that have done some great things in the industry, all the way down to how they serve their communities and how they give back. So it just ends up being this like really well-rounded event that slowly evolved, and it's evolved because of the attendees, and it's
Yeah.
evolved because of the partnerships. And I only
Mhm.
see that continuing to grow.
Oh, yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, it's just one big, like, positivity love fest. It's really
It truly is.
powerful for it really is. I mean, it
Yeah.
was the awards ceremony and the presentations during dinner, and then, like you said, the after party. I mean, it was just epic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna get more into your, like, personal journey and leadership. Like, Charity,
Okay.
I have to just tell you, you are such an inspiration to me, and I feel like every time we get together, I learn something from you and just the grace and how you hold yourself as a leader. I just would love to dig a little bit more into that for those that are listening that are in leadership positions or maybe hoping to be in a leadership position. I want to
Right.
talk a little bit about your, being named CMO of the year in 2024. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. So
Thank
congratulations for that.
you.
And what did that feel like to be recognized that way? And how, has it shaped you into, as you lead forward and as you serve the community? Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the misconception is that, when you get to this certain level that you have all of this recognition, right? But actually it's the opposite. When
Mm,
you reach a certain point, it's not about you anymore. It's about,
mhm,
what you're giving back and what you're doing. So at some point when you do have such a huge recognition like that, you're really taken back. And I mean, for me, I was so appreciative because my path to get to where I wasn't where I am is not easy. It was
mhm,
really tough. I had to navigate a lot of different environments and rooms, and
mm,
organizations, being a woman and then a woman of color, in addition to that. And so, I'm at the point, I think, in my leadership where, it's a pivotal point where you've got all of these experiences now where it's like, okay, I've checked all of these boxes. What's the next step for me? And really the next step for me is like, how do we grow the next level of leaders? Um,
mhm,
how do we help it with leadership, not only from like a personal, not from a business perspective, but also from a personal perspective?
mhm,
Because we're all, whether you're a small business or you work at a corporation, we're all trying to build a legacy. And what does that legacy like really mean to each one of us? It's unique. We all have a very unique footprint. And so our paths to get to where we are and what success means to us is all very different. So it's hard because we look at the next person and we say, "Oh, wow, they're doing really well. I should do exactly what they're doing." Actually, you should learn from what they're doing for sure.
Mhm.
But your path is most likely 100% going to be different from their path. And it's really kind of sitting down and figuring out what does that look like for you and having this conversation. So I was honored to receive the award. It actually had me in a position where I felt I did a lot of self-reflection because I'm looking at what's next for me, and that
Mhm.
really is what's next for me, and I think Iconic is one of those places where I'm able to give back on those experiences, and absolutely can connect with people one on one. I love going to the trade shows. I love going to events. I love having conversations with people because that's my opportunity to really share what I've gone through and for them to share what they've gone through and for us to bond and authentically have those conversations on what does success really mean and how do we leverage each other. And if I can be the one that they meet that helps them, to their next step or vice versa. Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah, no, that's incredible. Very, very well put. Well, what personally inspired you to join the beauty and wellness industry, and what keeps you passionate about it today?
Oh my gosh, the passion is the people.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you ask any of my family, I'm definitely not a high maintenance person. As far as beauty goes, I'm more of like a wash and go, 5-minute face, kind of get out of the door type person. But I've always admired the beauty industry. And there are such powerful entities and individuals within this industry, and it's the opportunity to match talent with the artistic side of yourself with also the business savvy of yourself and
Mm.
putting those together. And that's kind of how my brain works. My brain is really
Mm.
half creative and half business minded and putting those together. So it gives me the opportunity to have both of those and talk to others that are as well. But I'm just so in awe of the industry. I'm learning so much every year with every person that I talk to, and it's forever evolving. So it's
Yeah.
similar to technology, right? Technology, there's always something new coming out. There's always AI. But same thing with the beauty industry or the spa industry. There's always a new trend. There's always a new treatment. There's always a new something to learn. And these things that are happening in the industry make people feel good.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the day, that's what we all want to feel. We want to be happy.
Mhm.
We want to feel good. We want to feel good about ourselves. And that's something really tangible that can affect every and each individual. And I think the impact of that is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's so true, and I think what really opened my eyes that I'm very, very grateful for is, I'm so focused on the stylist,
Yes.
and being at Vagaro, I really got connected and got to, think about the barbering community and,
Yes.
like, just that community and what an inspiration that
Yes.
leg of it is. And of course, it's not cosmetology, it's different, but yet the same.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like that it's just like kind of opened my awareness. Not that I didn't think barbers were out there, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just love that from your seat, you get like, the fitness, the wellness, the spa, the barbering, the cosmetology, like you have such a vast, almost like a larger arm of the beauty industry that you guys serve, which is super, super cool. So,
Yeah, I love it. And really, it is about the people. And at the end of the day, it's very similar pain points, right? But
right.
every culture is a little bit different. The barber
Right.
culture is a little bit different from the right? The salon culture.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm learning, every day. But it really is
Mhm.
it's the people in the industry that really make up the industry for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, many of my listeners are hairstylists, salon owners, wellness enthusiasts. Like, what do you see as some of their biggest challenges right now, and how is Vagaro helping solve those problems?
Yeah, well, we have different levels of it, and I would say that's why everyone is unique. The biggest what one of the biggest challenges that we're hearing today is everyone wants to gain more business. The
Mm.
climate has changed.
Mhm.
We came out of the pandemic, and I know during the pandemic, everybody was worried because of all the DIY, okay,
Mm.
all the
Mhm.
things that they were selling on like Amazon that you can help do yourself, right? That you didn't need someone. You can get press on nails and things like that. Now we've come out of that, right? And if
Mhm.
people went into, okay, no, I actually need to go back to a professional actually
Right.
doing this. It's not the same as me, right? So I think we all came to
True.
that
Yeah.
realization.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's still a pain point, I think, for those, especially those that are starting out or those looking to grow. Like, how do I gain more business and how do I do it in an
Mhm.
authentic way? And so, what we always go back to is client experience. Word of
Mm.
mouth is the biggest marketing tool you can use. And I'm telling you
Mm.
this coming from a corporation that does spend money on, other things, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, word of mouth that means that your product, your service, your talent, what you offer, what you do, that means you're doing it really, really well. If somebody is going to go out, they had a great experience and they're going to talk about it and recommend that they come to your business to offer, your type of services. But to be able to do that is client experience. And that's where Vagaro comes in, right? Because
Mhm.
you want to be able to focus on your talent. So we want to help you focus on the client experience without you having to do very much. We want to
Mhm.
automate that. And so we do spend a lot of time talking about taking some of the load off of the business owners' backs on how to improve that client experience. So that's something that you don't have to worry about.
Mhm.
Let's make that super easy. And
Yeah.
let's boost your word of mouth. And not only just word of mouth, but you want those customers coming back month over month or week over week or however often you can get them back.
Mhm.
And I think the second thing that we hear a lot is upselling product. And
Mhm.
so as creatives, we hear all the time like, oh man, I really hate trying to upsell my clients. Like it's the most awkward thing that someone could think about doing when you have somebody in the chair and you just want to focus on making them feel good and look good.
Mhm.
And so, I think that's a great partnership that we can probably work on in the future is walking them through when you have the client in the chair, like why this is making them look good and why this product is helping them feel good. And that sells the product itself. But
Mhm.
also the automation of it. We've set up a lot of great features and functionality in Vagaro that does the upselling for our
Uh-huh.
customers, which is amazing. So they don't have to do it while somebody's in the chair. They can just focus on making them feel good, the education of the product, and then all of this automation happens in the back for the upselling. So I think that's probably the second pain point that we hear the most. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just smiling because I don't know, I don't think I should name names, but I have a stylist that's a very personal friend of mine that she
Yeah.
told me she uses Vagaro, and she just has, like, a couple little add-on services that you would
Yes.
do at the back bar,
Yeah.
and it adds, like, a $30
Plus.
plus maybe to her ticket, and
Yep.
it never ceases to amaze her, like, how many times her client that's just booking the appointment will just click that option, and it's something that she's like, doesn't take her any more time at the back bar, and
Yes.
it's just an added on service. So, I mean, I just love that kind of stuff when it can be
Yeah.
simple and it's helpful for the person coming in and helpful for the business owner, and it's like no fuss, no muss. So that
Nope.
is
Yep.
super
No
cool.
fuss.
I mean, that's why I love these things. I do love the intersection between business and creativity, and,
Yeah. I
how can it make things streamline and make things easier for everybody all the way around? Because the person's getting an up-leveled service and the salon owner, business owner is getting more money in their pocket, right? So it's like a win, 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 win all the way around.
Yeah, and actually the talk of Iconic was a feature that we just released. It's called cluster booking. And
Mm.
that feature actually takes the gap in your schedule. It will even take it for that day. So say you had some cancellations that day, you come in, cluster booking will fill appointments during those gaps. So you actually go back to having a full day. So the add-ons are absolutely amazing because they're going to be helpful to you want to allocate your time appropriately too. It's kind of like you have somebody in the chair and then you're selling them on an add-on and then you're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
shoot, I have a client coming in 15 minutes, so I want to do the add-on, but I also have somebody coming in." But if they do it ahead of time, now you have the appropriate time allocation for them. But then in
Mhm.
addition to that, if you have some cancellations or free time during the day, Vagaro is going to help you book that free time. So
Yeah, that's
it's it's
amazing.
it's amazing.
I
Yeah,
love
I think
that.
it's
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Is there anything that you can talk about on the other side of Vagaro for the consumer or the person that's using Vagaro? I didn't even think about that. But like, can you tell a little bit about like I mean, of course my mind is always focused on the business side of it and
yeah.
the business application, but how about for those people out there that aren't hairstylists or aren't using Vagaro or maybe wouldn't use Vagaro as a business owner, but maybe they would use it as a consumer or somebody that's just, yeah, using Vagaro to book a service.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, we all use Vagaro within the company, of course.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
but it's super easy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And I think it goes back to when Fred started the company. I mean, the whole reason was he's trying to fill a gap in the market where, he's like, I'm wherever I am, I'm in Denver, or I'm traveling here, I'm traveling there, and I need to find someone to give me this haircut.
Right.
And so I think that's the beauty of it is this place where you can get any of those self-care services all in one place, and it
Mhm.
makes it so easy for you and really spells it out. So I know for me, I like to do my research.
Uh-huh.
So if I go to a spa, I have some preferences. You definitely want a spa that looks clean. I always look at the photos. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, what does it look
absolutely.
like? Is it luxurious enough? Is it this?
Yeah.
Is it that? And so our listing pages make it so that you don't have to go anywhere else to do the research. Literally, the research is right there.
I
It
love
makes
that.
it so easy. And then I think, for the same reasons why it's beneficial to a business for like add-on services and things like that, it makes it easy on the consumer side because it takes the guesswork out of it. It's kind of like,
Mm.
I need a haircut. Oh, but I kind of need it styled that day. Or I also need, to touch up my roots. And it's all right there for you. And it's very suggestive to you based on what you're already booking, which is intelligent, right? It's smart because these business owners already know, like, hey, if you're going to come in for a color, most likely you haven't been here in 2 months, you're going to want to have a trim too, right? So let's go ahead and just recommend that to you. So the same automation that works for our businesses also works for our consumer. And then also the research part of it is all done within our marketplace. So they don't have to leave and go to Instagram and then go here and all these other places. It's all integrated into one place for them. It makes
Oh,
it really simple.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Well, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice about thriving in this industry and beyond, what would it be?
I would say stay true to what you believe in.
Mm,
We all get into this business because there's some passion uh,
mhm,
behind it. And while you're building a brand or when you have a brand, your brand is really you and it's really your passion and it's really what you believe in. And so that's one thing that you never want to lose. And I know sometimes business owners can get lost in the minutia of, I have to do payroll, I have to do this, and I have to do that. That sometimes the passion part falls to the wayside, but that's definitely something you need to prioritize. And that's really my goal, and that's why I'm like, I want people to use Vagaro to its fullest, so that you can just focus on your passion because your passion
mm.
is your brand, your passion is your differentiator, your passion is what's going to make you happy, and your passion is what's going to make your business successful.
Aw, thank you so much. That's amazing. That hits me right in my heart. So I appreciate that in such a beautiful way.
Oh,
Charity, it's always so nice to connect with you. I really appreciate your time today.
yes,
I look
absolutely.
I
Thank
look
you.
forward to more collaborations and the potential creativity that we get to share in the future.
I'm very excited. Thank you so much. I feel honored.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your behind the scenes perspective on Iconic. and your heart for empowering beauty and wellness professionals. And to our listeners out there, whether you're behind the chair, managing a salon, or growing a wellness practice, remember that technology and creativity aren't in competition. They're partners that can help you build a business that feels both successful and authentic. I want to give a very, very special shout out to Casey Voss, the Curl Boss, for being my amazing co-host. Please check her out, check her podcast out. Check all of her stuff out on Instagram. She is one amazing woman. So thank you so much, Casey. It's about following your passion, staying authentic, and pouring into others along the way. Whether you're leading at the board level, shaping stories online, designing with heart, or guiding a salon team, true impact comes from resilience, creativity, and a deep love for people. Thank you so much for joining me, dear friends, in these conversations from Vagaro Iconic 2025. And until next time, always follow your vision. Continue to stay true to yourself. And most of all, always trust your inner sense. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode, dear friends. I would be thrilled to hear which part resonated with you the most. Your reflections on today's topic and how it sparked action in your life mean a lot to me. Feel free to share your thoughts at podcasts@innersensebeauty.com or leave a review. I look forward to you coming back next week to explore another exciting topic together. If you'd like to dive deeper, be sure to check out the show notes for some valuable links. Until we meet again, take good care of yourself. Know that you are surrounded by love, and always trust your inner sense. Wishing you all the best, friends.